Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us for our fire group. And we are all like completely excited to have our focus completely on money. So thank you for joining us another second Tuesday in the month. And hey, let's start this beautiful meeting with a prayer. Carissa, will you open
Sure,
us?
my pleasure. Oh, dear Heavenly Father, we come before you so full of gratitude, Lord, in the name of Christ Jesus. We pray to you knowing that before we've even asked, you have given it to us, Lord, that you've promised us that if we ask, seek, and knock, all that we ask for shall be given unto us in your name, in your Son's name, Christ Jesus. Bring this evening excitement in front of us, that the hour is used well, that we're together, that it's a good reminder, and that we keep on track, encouraging each other in the area and the arena of wealth in our families and in our networks, that we are the light, Lord, that you have shined through us and out into this world. Thank you for the investments we've done. Thank you for the investments that are coming. Thank you for the money that we've used already. And I'm very excited. Thank you for the markets, Lord. It's actually very exciting to be in and working within man's creation here. In your precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay, like since our last meeting, like probably all of us received some newsletters from our banks and investment. And prior to us doing this whole meeting, I was always just deleting them. So now that I take an extra awareness step, I'm actually opening those emails and newsletters. So I really encourage you as well to do that, because what they have is like they have links to videos to learn, they have new products that they advertise. And so we always talk about, okay, what is your API on your money market? So, and if it is it FDIC insured, and Vanguard actually came up now with a new cash market product that has 4.75% and is FDIC insured. So before that, it was less than that. So we are really excited, like, why are we doing this group? Because we are like putting so much energy in it. There's even new products coming out that are completely catering to the requirements that we are setting up here. So I'm really excited about that. And the other aha moment I had was also, we always talk about dollar cost averaging, but there's also a difference in when you invest in something. And we know, like, yeah, we had like this market down and we could buy like so many great things on sale and they are up now. So however, there is, they sent also this little study that when you look at your IRA, it does make a huge difference if you contribute the money in the beginning of the year or by the end of the year. So, and they put it like over 20 years, I think, and it made a substantial sum just from the time wise, like in the beginning of the year or by the end of the year. So, for me, it was exciting that last year that I received a job, and that I even like by the last, by beginning of this year, that I had everything contributed. So now it's even a game with myself that comes up. It's like, how early can I actually put that in the market? How early can I contribute to it? And I know, like, we all here, we agreed, okay, this is a certain sum we do every month, and we pay ourselves first, and everyone in their own heart agreed on their percentage or an amount that they wish to do. So it's really great that we do the dollar cost averaging, and now the next step can be, hey, how much can I have to invest? And Carissa and I, we also had more meetings with my mentor about option tradings, and I can say by now that I kind of understand the covered call selling. I will also give you those links in the chat at some point when I had a moment to edit them. It's really interesting. So we're doing lots of practice tests now that he gives us charts and asks us, okay, which one are we going to buy and execute? And we're actually starting, I think, next month to do
it in real.
do it in a real.
So we'll give you reports.
Yeah. So It's super, and one of his advice was, okay, save 20,000 first, that you can buy the amount of shares that you can have those options for income purposes. So, so for me, it's kind of a balancing in my heart that I have to do right now. Okay, with every dollar that comes in, where does it go? In a way of, okay, do I contribute to my RIA first? Am I like other sources say, okay, you have to have an emergency fund of 20,000, which is, can be in a money market, of course. And then, yeah, let's save that for option trading, but also take a part that is not in a money market, but put it in ETFs or something that gives you even more yield over the next month than a money market can have. So it's really it becomes a game, and it's actually fun to play with those funds. So that is my report, my update on Carissa.
Yeah,
yours?
so I'll just give the update. We've spent 4 hours with Leslie, and he has a 1 through 12 step method that he's using. Instead of living on dividends, he's showing us to leave all your money invested. You can keep your dividends growing, and instead do some covered calls. So he has a very simple method of 12 things. We've done our 4th hour, and Sylvie and I think we have all the little simple 12 steps. Like, is this even tradable? They're very simple like that. And then, is it in a range 25 cents? So you can actually just look, so amazing from the stock price. And this gentleman, Leslie, has done this for probably 20 years, and it's how he's made his living for 20 years, and he just shared it. So
he spends 15 minutes every Monday to make his 4,000, and then he's good for the week with that. And so he's living very happily ever after. So we talked to Kyle, and he agreed that next month he will talk to us about futures. So he's basically doing the same method, just with another vehicle. So it's really exciting to learn. So now we know about options. And then as a group, Kyle agreed that we meet a little bit earlier by 5:30 next month, and then he talks to us about how can you do the same thing with futures. And again, he said, yeah, have your 20,000 ready, because then you can start doing the income. So however you get your 20,000 to play with, and my mentor also has manifested. So I'm in the process of manifesting, and I know all of you are too, to like really get this game started. So today's topic is about budgeting. And before we start, anyone else want to share what they learned in the past month that was exciting, focusing on money?
Oh, I could just comment really quickly on the income strategy of selling covered calls, just, for people that aren't fully aware. Like, a call represents 100 shares typically in a contract. So to have covered calls, you need to have 100 shares of whatever the stock that is. Hence, like, that recommendation of having like 20,000 or so. That's why there is like a kind of a higher barrier of entry there, because again, to have a covered call, you need to have those underlying stock, and it's a good income strategy, and it's not something you should, at least I think, on just like any kind of stock. You really want to do it when you're hoping and anticipating that the market stays relatively stable. Because like, if it's stable, the odds are, your contract is going to kind of stay in the money. There's not going to be a big move, and people are going to want to execute on it and then like take your shares. Of course, that's not what you want when you're trying to be an options writer. So just keep in mind, you want like a stable market. It can be great for income, but again, just noting there is like a higher barrier of entry, because you do need to take on 100 shares.
Thank you, Morgan. Yeah, you can go back in the chat. I put like the first video on it, like where he explains all of this, Leslie, in the chat already. So it's on our YouTube from Receive Joy. So you can watch that, or text me if you need the link again. So, and the other ones I will put in, and that's also one of those things he explains. Also, one of the later topics is okay, what happens on Friday when because you only sell the weekly covered calls, what happens on Friday if the market made a jump in a direction that you didn't anticipate when it went up too high. And he also told us what is basically the how can I say, risk-free version to do that. So like lots of details. As I said, we did 4 hours already on that with all the detailing. So watch it when you get a chance. It's really, really interesting. And there are option trading videos also on each platform. I looked at Fidelity, I looked at Vanguard, they all have videos. So get yourself educated. So just for fun, watch some money videos and all kinds of what is an option, what, and that's how I had to start. And I was asking questions because in the beginning I was less um, aware of what was talked about, because I was like, okay, the basic thing, let's take one step back, what are we actually talking about?
And this is what Leslie has, is this 12, his own 12 steps, and you have to qualify before you make any move. It has to have all 12 qualifications, so it takes the risk out of it. That's what he learned over 20 years, and so he's nice that he shared it with us. And we're just gonna we'll share it once we do it in a month, and very fun, very fun.
So thank you for this overview, Morgan. Very much appreciated. Okay, so Andrea is with Jillian and Donovan in New York. So she was excited to learn and teach about budgets and the app YNAB. So what we will do is we have let's talk about budgeting. And like the other word that the book we are reading, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, is using, they say it's conscious spending. So have a conscious spending plan, because budgeting is kind of a little restrictive, and it invokes a certain feeling in us from the past. So I really like the new word, the new phrase put around it, conscious spending.
Yes.
Because this is really like, oh yeah, we are aware what we are doing, where is our money going, every dollar that comes in, where does it go, where is it assigned to? So conscious spending, as another word for budgeting, also implies that you thought about where your money actually goes and what do you like to buy. So making the budget or making this plan is really like looking at the categories, and first to make a distinction. So he like Rami makes in the book the distinction. There's a difference between being cheap and being conscious when it comes to spending. So there is a difference of like, so for example, if we know we go to a certain place and we see a coupon and we take the coupon with us, it's conscious. It's not being cheap because we wish to have that kind of food. However, it is very conscious of us to save the money that the coupon gives us, even if it's like on a meal for all of us and then $10 off. It's huge, and we are super happy about our coupon clipping, even though we would have spent the money anyways without the coupon, because it's like we want to go to this restaurant and we wish to have that food or whatever purchase that is. So there's a real difference between being like frugal and completely like I don't know another word for like
Stingy.
Yeah.
Yes. So I love that he talks so well about being frugal, and what's nice about it, and I do mention this because A.L. Williams, way back when I was a kid in my early 20s, it was great starting at 17, just being aware. We used to have vending machines. Now people go to Starbucks every day. And what he really said was it's that $10 that Sylvie's talked about saving, that you already have a plan for it. So it's saving the $10 or not going to the vending machine or going through Starbucks 3 times a month, and then saying that's going to be my $25 or whatever that I'm going to invest in my IRA or in whatever dream you had. Barbara just mentioned she bought the QQs. And so it's just the dream of doing something. And actually, she's so thrilled. Remember, she shared with us one time their account was up $42, and today we looked, it was up $120. So what's just so fun is even when you have zero expectation of something, it's exciting to put in a little more and to do a little something new with it, whether it's once a quarter, once a month. We made a commitment to each other that by the end we'll have 12 different investments, or 12 additions to our, if it's 5 investments that you have, that you've actually done a conscious spending so that you had a little extra. And that's what Sylvie's getting at, is if you have a target, and this app that she downloaded from the book helps her stay on target. And so I just share that it was the aha, oh yeah, if you don't go to the vending machine, if you eliminate Starbucks and take your own coffee, or buy those coffee pods, they're a lot less than a Starbucks cup. Get yourself a nice coffee maker. So whatever your spending is, that you know that if just 3 times a month you could scrape from it and do something a little bit different. And so one of the things, even shopping at Walmart versus Target for napkins or something, Costco versus Publix. I see a lot of people zooming through and getting snacks at 7-Eleven. Could you buy a case of snacks or the larger bag and put them in your own little Ziploc bags? It's kind of like, what are you willing to do? I say this because I feel that in my lifetime I was so willing, and then it got easier and easier. Then I looked at, oh, could I get a swimsuit that cost a little less instead of the name brand? Could I do something just a little bit? It wasn't being
Take
cheap.
your own snacks to the movies,
or take your lunch to work, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Sylvie takes her lunch to work, and I always did too. Take your snacks to the movies. I take my own water bottle, and I can afford as much water bottles, cases of them. I was just at the movie theater here, and they're charging $7 for a water bottle. I literally, in my jacket, in the pocket, slip a water bottle when I go into the movies, because $7 for a water bottle. I'm like, no, thank you. I'll take my own. Or a healthy snack, blueberries or raspberries or something. I'll put a little bag of those in my pocket. So it's the conscious use of where do I want my dollars to go, and could I take with joy some of that and put it into something that, just like this market went down for the month. I know Kent was probably watching really carefully, and I was thinking of you, Kent, when my entire 2,400 profit for this account went away, and yet it's now just about back. So I went crazy and bought when that market was, on sale. I'm going to call it on sale, because it was, all my profits were gone, right? And it was digging into just slightly into my money that I put in. So I said, this is a great time. I had a call with Kyle, who is a professional in the industry, and he gave me some stocks that and I encourage you guys, call your friends that are professionals in the industry and say, hey, give me 3 or 4 suggestions, so that I was ready when it all went on sale. So as it was going, you always want to buy on the way down. So the market was going down, and I bought like the second day that it was going down. And then as the recovery comes up and comes through. So be prepared with some names when the market's going to go down, because it's always going to go down and up. And there are, like this past month, where it just really fell apart. And that was an exciting time. It was like going to the blue light special at Kmart. Oldies they used to have a blue light going in an aisle. Everything's on sale here, 2 for 1. So be ready with some things that you want to purchase when it's going to go down, and then just enjoy the fact that it went down. And you kind of have to put the blinders on. I was mentioning this to Kent, just keep purchasing in with some blinders on. What goes down is going to come back. Be okay that the numbers don't look great. They're going to come back. So when you're dollar cost averaging in, that's why we buy at different times. So you're buying sometimes on the way up and sometimes in the same stock. So if you make 4 or 5 purchases within the same stock, you're going to have some dollar cost averaging going on. Yeah. So I can say that it's been a really good thing. Kent lived with a mother that was very, I'm going to say, aware, conscious spending, and a father Jeff actually took his lunch back at 35 years ago when he went to UCLA. When he started work, he would take out, Kent, I have to mention this to you because this is so great. His father would take $10 cash out a week and live on it. So he was so careful. It was just the awareness. He just wanted to play with the awareness of, that was many years ago. So maybe now it's $50. And he said, okay, I can take my lunch. I can make my own coffee, or take a thermos with me or hot cups. And so he would play with this, and he rode his bike to work some of the days that he could ride his bike. I think, Kent, you can mention this, but I think he still some days rides his bike to work.
Oh
Now
yeah, he still does all that.
he still does all that. So isn't this crazy, you guys? We're old. We have $1 million. We don't need to do any of that. But guess what? They were habits that we ingrained. He still does that stuff. And it's a pleasure now to do it. It's kind of like, well, if I did it this long, I can keep doing it. And Sylvie laughs too. We look through the coupon things instead of throwing them all away. We breeze through. If there's one or two that we'll use, we throw away the whole pack, but there's one or two that we can use. And we smile about it when, the tires go on sale, and we declare, when I'm buying 4 tires, they will be on sale. Or you think of a holiday that's coming up, the tires usually go on sale, like Memorial Day or Labor Day. And if you need 4 new tires, kind of target it for that time.
Yeah, or we look like, I know like exactly what product she's buying. I lived with her for so many years, so I call her, oh, by the way, it's 2 for 1 at Publix right now, so you might wish to stop.
Go and stock up on that soup that you buy. And it's so great. Yes, I think I bought 30 cans of soup, and I bought some for Savannah. I bought some, so this is what's so great. It's if you buy 30 cans, you're saving $45, it's really amazing, and put a few in every house. So I say it because it does work. Kent has parents that are a great example of it. I can say I live in that great example. I know that Andrea has been very conscious about that, and it does matter, because if you add up the savings you do for 30 years, even if you go to, if you're Sylvie goes to Costco for gas, or some people go to Sam's Club because it's maybe you save $2. It's not the $2 you save the one time. It's the habit that you save $2 for 10 years every week. Mm-hmm. And then you think of, wow, and then you have the plan of what you're doing with that $2, and you're going to do what you think you're going to do with the $2. You're not just dreaming it and then forgetting about it. So yeah, take that money and do those little investments, or whatever it is that you've got set up for those $2, that it matters, that it's a follow through.
So the guy who wrote Smart Women Finish Rich, or like Start Late Finish Rich, there's all this book series, like his last name, I think his name is David Buck. So he termed, like back then, the term the latte factor. So it's basically, he said, in one of his seminars, it came up that one lady said that she has zero to save for herself, or pay herself first. And like it came up that by lunch, she already bought herself like a coffee at Starbucks and a muffin, and then something from the vending machine at work. So this $10. So basically at the end, when they talked it all through, she said like, wow, my lattice cost me my retirement. So that's why it was termed the latte factor. And then he also had like another couple coming into his counseling, and for them it was cigarettes. So when they gave up the cigarettes, and instead of what they spent on smoking, when they put that all away for retirement, they could retire very early. So it's like, what is your latte? What is your cigarette? Is there anything that you habitually spend that you can change? And it's really going through your day and really be aware. And this is how budgeting starts. Like, first of all, we have to be aware where our money goes. So before we even change anything, we have to be aware of, where do we spend it? How much percentage are we spending on rent? So are we rooming with someone? Are we having a mortgage? So in this book, it's like, oh, is it about 25%? That's what is or like 1/3 maximum to spend on your habitat. So these kind of things, to really know your numbers. So what are you spending in each area of your life? And it's really interesting when you start with, or when I started with a budgeting app, it was first you think like, okay, yeah, I have this, I have that, and that. And once you go through the months and you record everything, there's even a little thing that says things I forgot to budget for. And it will come up a lot that you have to reapply your money to something else, because it's like, wow, oh, that also once a month or like once a year thing, or every half a year did I. Yeah, we think about the big things. We think about car maintenance, car insurance. We think about our rent. We think about our the monthly invoices like the phone, the internet, the cable, or Netflix subscription. So all of these things. However, did you ever add them up, all your subscriptions? Do you require all of your subscriptions?
Yeah.
So then it's really going through, what do I require to live on? And for me, I consciously um, spend my money on one subscription service, TV wise, where I know, oh, I will watch those shows, and it gives me, it's my hobby, it's my pleasure. So I consciously choose to have these kind of subscriptions. So however, like there are a lot of instances where we subscribe to something and we have yet to use it. So I'm thinking about my gym membership lately. It's like, do I really require that? Because I'm like so busy with working and going back and forth. And now Sundays is out at the beach and paddleboarding. So maybe my monthly subscription to the gym is something I have to rethink. And maybe
At this time.
at this time, and maybe pick it up later. So really we have to like that's the conscious part about it, to do I use it, and having this kind of budgeting app, and really it feeds into my bank accounts, so my bank accounts feed into them. So everything that I purchase comes up and I have to approve that transaction. It's like really bookkeeping. In the beginning it takes a moment to get used to set up your accounts, but once you do the bookkeeping, you are amazed, like, oh, this is how much I spend on groceries. And for me it was eye-opening. It's like, I'm one person, I don't eat that much, but I spend that much on groceries. Of course, but it's like a conscious choice, because I like organic things. I like to have my refrigerator full because it gives me my feeling of abundance. So it's my choice of spending. So really to be aware of where your money goes and what makes you happy. That's the main thing, what the budgeting app gives you. It's zero about being so limited on yourself and say, oh, I can only spend like $10 on this or $10. Conscious spending is more about to make the choices and really say, I choose this for my happiness, I choose this for my abundance, and I know this much I'm paying myself. And this gives you then in return the feeling of, hey, I can afford it. And hey, I am abundant. Hey, I am rich already. Oh, I can buy this, or if I save this amount, then it gives you kind of goals. Oh, yeah, this debt is being paid off then and then. Maybe there's a year that is in 10 years if it's a mortgage, or 20 years. However, it tells you, wow, like do a little bit extra and then it goes faster, so you can start playing with yourself again. But you know your numbers, and you know, okay, if I invest this, then I have this. If I pay myself this, then if I do that constantly for 12 months and then for 10 years, I have this much and more. So it's exciting, and it's really instead of like when we all started this, some of us might had this anxiety feeling of even opening the bank statements or even logging into the account and seeing, okay, is the market up or down, or having this kind of adrenaline rush just logging into investment accounts. And now it's all game and funds. So it's really about um, putting your focus on the joy of the abundance and the savings and the playing with it. And this is what we try to really impart onto you with those meetings, that instead of being this taboo topic, zero people are talking about it, like, oh, what are you earning, what are you saving, so that we are taking this and making it fun and really making it aware. So for you, that you know your numbers, you know your logins, you know exactly what to expect, so you set yourself up for success. And that's what we always say, set yourself up for success in every area of your life. And this, I think, with a budgeting app, and then I use YNAB, you need a budget. and there might be others out there. It's just what was recommended in the book. It's $100 per year to do that, and even budgets your $9 a month for it. So you can save up for that. It's, for me, it's very helpful. And I wish to share with you also the categories that they have, so that you can make your own list and really start thinking about what are these spendings that you incur. So really take note and really watch yourself in the coming month. Where does your money go? And then look at it. Do I really have to buy that? Do I really want that? Does it make me happy? Is it just a habit? So you will be surprised what kind of habit comes up. And so this is the playful part of budgeting. So let me just log into this. And so there are different headers, and bills is one of them. So what is automatically paid every month? So that goes from your account that you have to have the money for. So that would be your rent, your cell phone, a car payment, mortgage, car insurance. Even though car insurance is maybe every 6 months, you have to put away a certain amount each month in your system, in your envelope. In the old times, it was like an envelope system, that by the time this big payment comes every half a year, you're ready for it. And these are for starters. I mean, if you have like the 20,000 in the bank already, that's another topic. But still, you wish to budget, you wish to be aware of, hey, every half a year there is this insurance payment. So then you have to have so for me, it's also the gym. So all the subscriptions that go automatically from your account goes in the bill category. And then the next one is all about needs. And I know we rather call it requirements, like things that we really, really, really wish to have. So, and my first one in that category is groceries, followed by gas. And my contribution to my IRA, because it's really important to me to have that contributed, because it's my paying myself first. Then I also put in my savings, the emergency savings, slash, for me, it's right now saving for option trading. Then we have to have certain documents that we have to renew every year. So think about those. Your driver's license comes up every 2 years. Your passport comes up. So all these documents, every time you go, like, or your license plate, every time you go to the DMV, you have to have money for that. So have that ready. So for me, it's like driver's license, car registration, then also car maintenance. So we know that a car, depending on the age,
Needs
costs
tires.
a certain amount. Yeah, windshield wipers that needs to be replaced. So
Oil changes, yeah.
Yeah, all of these maintenance always have to have like some money put aside. So then it's also, what are your insurances other than the car insurance, like all your medical, your dental, whatever services you have. Then also we have to account for taxes. If you have like a service that does your taxes, like a CPA, they wish to be paid once a year for that. So have that money ready. So and in this app, the last point here is your YNAB subscription with your $9 each month. And then after we have the needs, comes the wants. So what do I wish to have extra for my daily life and for my happy, healthy living? So for me, I have a category for education, because I like to take certain classes, online courses, buying books, all of that. So I just did a big license that I required like a little bit more than $500 extra, and my boss surprised me with the next education. He actually paid what I wish to have, so that's good that I could allocate that money then somewhere else. I have a category that I call Live a Beautiful Life. And that is everything when I go and have fun. So, and I feel really good that I have money allocated in that category, because then when I go out and let's rent a kayak, or like, let's go to the botanical garden, let's go to the zoo, let's do all those activities that, hey, it's accounted for. I can afford to, spend that money on my fun because I thought about it and I consciously have it. And it's zero about depriving myself, standing outside the zoo because I'm like, oh, I cannot afford it. Because I need to like put everything in this and this product financially. No, I have the freedom to do so, and this is what the wealthy, abundant life is about. So you can have a wealthy, abundant life at any stage. I always had it. So it's just about the belief and the mindset. And once you have this money put away, it really, whatever you put out comes back to you. So with this, like so many of your friends or like colleagues or people that say, oh, I cannot afford it, or oh no, like, oh, I'm not rich enough, or I'm too poor for that. And you can think, oh, you know what, I can afford it. I have this millionaire life. I can, whatever I wish, because you have your little stash, your little envelope, and you can take it out of there and it's accounted for. So that's the conscious spending really that makes it fun. So I have a dining out. I have one category for everything that comes from my household. So I call it home decoration, supply and maintenance. So it can be paint, it can be Tupperware, it can be when I go to every time I go to Walmart or the dollar store, it goes into that category because I like to buy these kind of home improvement things that make me happy and that I like to use. So then there's a category for clothing, and then there is a category for gifts. Because hey, Christmas comes up and everyone has a birthday, so I wish to have like more than a card. I wish to have like a little bit extra, that graduations. You always have like every year someone graduates from somewhere, or there's a Mother's Day coming up, and so have that. And then the next one is charity and giving, because there is maybe someone in front of you that requires the money more than you do, and you have it. Hey, you know what? If someone comes and asks for money, Carissa can always explains it really well. It's like, instead of saying, "Oh yes, I have the full amount because I cannot," no, I have this saved, and please ask for the remainder somewhere else.
Yes. So whatever, it's so great to have that all planned out. So let's say you end up at the end of the year with $700 in that account, and somebody asks you for $3,000. I can give what I have. And so I'm here freely give you the $700, and I give it with all my consciousness happily, because that's my whole account. That's everything I've budgeted for this year. And it'll fill up again with every paycheck or every income that I have, though it's really great to have a number all set up. Otherwise, it's too much thought process, especially if you're a couple, because then what do you think we should give? What do you think? We can give what we got, what we budgeted to give, or what we budgeted in this department. If you're having a party and you want to spend something, and let's say you have children and you've got a category that's parties, well, you can spend what you've budgeted for this. So when you're young, it's really helpful to have these budgeted numbers, because it just helps you go on to the next thing, instead of, oh, should I, could I, would I, how much should we spend on Christmas gifts and all that. Yeah, how many people and how much money you've got in your gift account, and that's what it's going to be. And keeping yourself accountable is something that I think everybody here, I see the names in front of me on the screens, we're all really good at that, keeping yourselves accountable for what we planned. And so I'm excited. It does work, and it's been wonderful, and it's taken all the mystery out of everything. If what's in the account is what I can spend now, next year come to me and we'll have a different amount.
Yeah. So, and then it's everything you're saving for. So if it's a new phone, new computer, or traveling, so everything that is extra after that, because you have to prioritize, like some weeks are better than others. So your choice. So some people say like, oh, I spend zero on groceries and I take what I get at work, or like whatever my friends have in the refrigerator. So I have zero of that, and I put everything in another category. So it's a choice for everyone where it is. So when there's still left over, where do you put it? So have a plan for everything that is left over. And it's
Yes.
exciting energetically, because the moment we prepare the soil, there will be extra to be have left over to apply in the different spots that we prepared. So if it's a new computer, your new phone, your vacation, I already made like a whole envelope electronically for my kitchen appliances for my house that I'm buying. So because I have to think more than, okay, what is a mortgage? I have to think about, okay, how do I decorate my house? What do I need to put in there? So there is an envelope for all the different things. And even if I put $5 in every month or every 2 months, it keeps me excited and it keeps the energy going towards my house.
To the future. Yeah.
It's so we're using all the things that we teach over all those years. We're using it, and it really gives me the excitement. Or you buy something for your house for your next big purchase. So can you already buy like a little piece of it instead of the big, like when you wish to have a full new bedroom set, start with a new set of sheets or with a pillow that makes you happy that goes on your bed, so that energetically the universe knows, hey, I'm ready for the whole new bed set, and it will come. So it's really great to, so all of those things really opens us up, and it really puts a focus where it requires to be. And as Teresa said, it takes completely the thought out of anything distracting, anything extra. So if there is, however, you will stay flexible with this, because you can always say, hey, I spent this much money this month on, so I still have left over in this category because I spent less, and but I overspend on this, so I'm flexible to kind of even out the accounts. So that's a great thing, and you will adapt. So for me now that I'm driving farther to work, I had to adjust my gas account. So all of these adjustments will go, but it keeps you really, really aware of everything, and open to all those flexible changes. So
Right. And so I mentioned that whether you have QuickBooks or Quicken or you're doing it on the cell phone, um, and I know that my sister Chris, she also, I mean, we're still hand entering accounts, like whether you're categorizing them. So it doesn't go away, guys. So I'm 60 years old, and Kent's parents, they're still the same way, categorizing our expenses. It's an amazing thing because it's a habit, so it's easy. And you do want to see, is anything tax deductible, because we do want to look if anything, any part of your house, if you're using it as an office expense, et cetera, that you're keeping really good records, remodeling that office, or pest control for that 1/8 of your house if you work out of home, especially now with Zoom where people can work out of their home. Yeah. So records are good. Being in the habit of just being completely aware of where every dollar is going. And then remember, I just want to remind us of our great, what we agreed on in the beginning is that you're going to have this 20 slot income garden going, and you're having your 20 slot wealth garden going. And it's that we're putting them at the same rate here. You're always dreaming about new income. That's why Sylvie was sharing about this method that Leslie's using to bring in some income off the futures. This is it's so great, is you can dream the income too as you're dreaming the wealth growth. And if we keep both of those wheels turning, it's really an amazing life. And it is what will get you into financial freedom, whatever words these are using. It's really smart that the young people are thinking of it now. There only is now. The idea is that you play in this so that there is some extra. And then dream about what you're going to do with the extra. So remember, you can skim that off so you have $20,000, you can keep skimming off whatever it is. So if you have 2,000 and you're up $120, you could skim that 120 and do something with it eventually. That's the dream. The dream is that you always will have that investment that's going to grow and give an opportunity, and you're always going to have extra in different areas and income areas. So whatever is going to create some income versus just the wealth growing. Have your mind wide open, whether it's writing a book, whether it's publishing, whether it's selling things on eBay. There's just so many wonderful ideas. Walking a dog. I know Maddie goes just to help an older lady, and she goes 5 times a week to walk this little dog. Every little thing is the $20 that turns into 5 days a week, the $100 you can make that investment, that $250 a month we're talking about. Where it comes from, be creative and then answer the call. So if somebody says, can you do this? I always say yes. Yes, I can, and I will. Yeah. So Sylvie, working the 2 jobs for a while, it was 3 months, right? That you had the 2 jobs,
Cool.
4 months. So she was willing to do that extra job for 4 months that put her wheel in some real good action to get that whole budget set up. So what are we willing to do? And I think everybody, if we think about this, let's put our hands in here in the middle of what's another income source that we can all grow with to keep our budget even having a little extra, if that's something that we require.
Let me share one more thing here. So what I really like about this app as well is like it gives you a graph about your net worth growth, and you can put like so the one I'm showing you here has only like my extra accounts right now showing, because I wish to have like this 20,000 for option trading. So that's how I'm seeing every month my growth towards my 20,000 extra. So I can have all my accounts and seeing my whole net worth, including I put my car value in. Like we talked about evaluating all your jewelry. I didn't even do that. I was talking to my boss about, if I want to sell my expensive handbag, would you give me 3,000? And he agreed. So it's like, okay, now I have an option. Okay, I could like have that grow. So we have like these extra things. We have and it's just amazing to see like what is your net worth actually, and it's more than you probably know and anticipate. And so also the great thing about this app, the second graph it gives you is your age of money, and that means are you spending as much as you're earning, as fast as you're earning, or do you have a little time to adjust your spending? So the more days it shows you, so it says like if you're over 30 days, you're in a high percentage of people that made it, in a way of you can actually like rest for a month. You have the extra things, you have it all paid for. So I was at 70, let's see, like 67 days I'm currently. So, and it was fun to see like the growth of that my money was aging with making those extra incomes. That now I can say, okay, like when I went through this 30 days, I was like, hey, yay. So it also gives you the feeling of security that we as human beings here wish to have when it comes to financial to financials. So just to see, it's so visual. So I'm a visual learner. So for me, it's great to see, hey, you know what? As long as the graph is going up, I'm on the right track.
Yes, and I encourage you also I read the book again while I was on vacation for 2 weeks. And I remember Isaac asking about your student loan money and what you should do if you have extra. He covers that in the last chapter of the book. And he's a very strong believer that if you have discipline, do something with it. And again, it's the discipline factor. And then I remind you also, Isaac, that I even have an app I saved on my phone, and I know that Malia, who's on the call, she is helping relieve some of that student debt. I say take full advantage of whatever the government's going to allow. So if you have any student debt, anybody, get it taken care of. Let some of these companies help you lower that debt. Yeah, and so watch some of his movies of people and their spending habits, because we all can identify a little bit, even if it's crazy. We can say, oh, that reminds me of something I could do to spend a little less, and then this is the next thing we're reaching for to make that repetitive investment. So go back through each of us and look that we're putting a little more money in the things that we already invested in. So take your QQQ or take your ETFs or your retirement account, and make sure that you've made a couple contributions in this 12 months into that, even if it's the $200 or 100 more dollars, so that we get a little bit into the dollar cost averaging habit. Yeah. And if you're ready for even new stock ideas and all that, just go ahead and put it in the chat and we'll give you a couple of the new ideas that we have.
I also wish to encourage everyone to pay attention, like what are you learning throughout the month about money? What are you excited about? What are your purchases you were super excited about because you saved so much money? So where did you negotiate with someone and they gave you something off because you were just asking for it? So have fun with that. So I really wish our group to be like super interactive in these kind of things, and we have this little chat that we're using for the meetings. So hey, share with us throughout the month, like some cool tip you just learned that can help each and every one of us to stay excited about it, and the game of the money here. And also the, even if it's like savings or
Yeah, debt consolidation. I know that Malia's been working full time in debt consolidation for people in Miami.
And I wish Malia to share with us at one
what
of the
she's
next
learned.
meetings.
She's been spending so many hours a week there, and I know that she's learned tips. And yeah,
So anyone who can think of something, please share right now.
Yeah, if anybody wants to share what they've been into or what they learned, what they're doing.
Or just the latest stock you're excited to buy or have bought.
And what was the Taiwan company that we did?
Conductors.
Yeah.
TMC.
I got it.
Probably TMC.
You have it? Yeah. Our latest purchase. I can grab my phone. What about you, Morgan? Anything new and exciting?
Nothing in particular, but maybe something that can like help with this. I don't know if anyone's kind of seen all the, crazy stuff with like GameStop happening right now. The trading had to be halted like 10 or 15 separate times because it's, blowing up. But like regardless of the stock itself, like a good tip is, if anyone's on any sorts of social medias like X or Instagram or like pretty much any social media, it's not a bad idea to follow some of these accounts that kind of just give you little updates of what's going on in the market. What are the big movers? What's really happening. It just kind of keeps you more in tune of what's going on. There's some accounts, of course, dedicated to like, oh, what are all the big politicians buying right now? And I'm not saying that's gonna like guarantee you money or whatnot, but it's just kind of another way to add add it into your routine. Again, if you spend some time on like a social media in the day, like it helps keep finances maybe top of mind, maybe gives you some inspiration for some stock picks, and just being well informed of what's going on in the market is only really going to help you better understand what you're doing when you're investing. Might incentivize you to look deeper into a stock. If you see what's happening with GameStop and you find it interesting, that could inspire you to do more research and dig deeper, feel more confident about what you pick and what you don't pick. And I think it just can inspire you.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so TSM is a Taiwan semiconductor account. So that's something that I purchased with Kyle's recommendation. It's kind of fun. It's just in Roku. I know that a lot of people are watching and seeing that come up on your television as an option like a Netflix. Yeah. So as you're seeing new companies that look exciting, put their wares in front of us. Yeah, it's good. So I've been I purchased so that I can. It forces me to watch some of the companies. I buy a few shares just so that I watch it. And yeah, and just always write down the price you went in at so you can get excited to see how it's grown while you've owned it. And yeah, motivation. It's all about the motivation factor.
But within the next month, I definitely put some videos on the chat for the option trading, the 3 ones that I have yet to put on there, and our 2 meetings here.
Yeah.
So if you wish to share anything that's exciting, please do, because it all keeps us excited, it keeps us motivated, it keeps us aware, it keeps us digging our little ditches, our little trenches, our little garden spots for our beautiful abundance garden. So
Yes.
please share. So anyone else? Well, so next meeting, I think it's either Kyle. One of the meetings that's coming up, I also wish to go with you guys again through the book, I Would Teach You to Be Rich, just to the action steps that everyone really knows. Okay, what are the actions? Did I do that? Did I call my credit card companies? Do I know what insurances I have? Did I do my app budgeting? Do I know what to do about my student loans? Am I renting? Am I buying? So all these action steps of thoughts that have to go into is one of the meetings.
Yeah, please take your books out and make sure you did it all.
Yeah.
And then let's challenge each other on.
Are you like really maxing out on all the things that you can max out? So it's really like a checklist kind of thing that we go through, that everyone can like then say, oh yeah, no, like, do I have beneficiaries on all accounts? All these kind of things that the action steps. And I know I'm still, with all the new accounts that I make, with all my new 401ks with the new companies, I know that I still have to appoint my beneficiaries. It's on my list to do. So always have your action list ready, that you have a new step to do, that you know, like, okay, so every time a paycheck comes in, this is my 10%. Where does it go? Have your plan, have your wheel set up. Do I know exactly where it goes? That it's only like a few trades, 5 minutes in the evening or in the morning or during lunch break or whenever you wait in line for something. Can you do that? Are you so set up that it's so light and easy to execute that plan? So really, really, this year is about setting yourself up. And once Carissa said, after all those years, it's so habitual that
you just keep doing it because it was easy, and you're saying, hey, it's worked this far.
Hey, and I got $10 extra. Where's the excitement? What is my priority list? Where do I put all $10 in this vehicle? Am I $1 here, $1 here, $1 here? So
yeah. And remember to invest in your banks. So like we bank personally with Finemark National Bank. It's a private bank here in Naples. And if you're in Naples, I would highly recommend you use them as a regular bank. You can ask them to waive all the fees. They will. It's amazing. You walk in, they know who you are. They don't even make you take out an ID. They keep your driver's license on file for you.
You can use any ATM wherever, because they waive
the fees. It's just something that's, so Schwab, I bought Schwab. It's another recommendation. If you believe in whoever you're banking with or you're investing with, buy it. JP Morgan, Schwab, Merrill Lynch, whatever it is, if you can. So, invest in your bank. Schwab's done really well. Another one that I added to my portfolio is FTNT, Fortinet. F is in Frank, T is in Tom, N is in Nancy, T is in Tom. And then MGNI, M is in Mary, G is in George, N is in Nancy, I is in India. That's a new one. Roku, ROKU. And then the TSM, the Taiwan. Those were the picks that Kyle recommended. That's what he's putting his portfolios in as a professional portfolio manager. So he shared that with us. I did make all those purchases while the market was going down, so that just for seeing how it as it's coming back up. So those are the picks to add in. Remember, we always having a log of some possibilities. So if you ever get birthday money or a bonus check or something, and you say, hey, I'd like to look at 5 and maybe take it down to 2 or 1, and this will be my next, I'll buy 10 shares, I'll buy 6 shares, I'll buy 100 shares, whatever it is, this will be my next pick. So just have some ideas. These I'm just sharing again what I've researched in the last month and purchased. So going back your ETFs, make sure you're feeding your ETFs a little bit here and there. And yeah, that's the joy. Thank you, Sylvie, for sharing
And always
your
remember,
success.
only have like a little bit in your checking account and put like most of it in your money market, that you have, that you're ready when the market goes down to go for the sales,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
that you get that your money is working for you. Your money always has to work for you. So whatever's extra. And I had this whole conversation with my boss's boss when he came. I was like, oh, I heard the company has so much free money. Are you having it in a money market, or where do you park it? And he was like, oh, wow. And we had this whole conversation and we talked about millions. So it's like, oh, I have to have my financial officer talk to you. I was like, oh no, I just have this little group and we're learning so much here. So it's really amazing where, like, when we have the consciousness, when we have the awareness, where it can lead. So it's
Right.
really,
And it's easier to start with your $10
Yes.
than your 10 million. Like, you know, her
Yeah.
boss that has all this money sitting there waiting to buy supplies for his company, he
he's
could
not
have it
set
in
up.
an investment
Yeah.
account. Yeah.
So I helped him like to have the awareness to set up a system.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean,
So what we do with a little is the same
Yeah.
thing we're going to do with a lot. So make sure your little bit now is being really focused on, and then as it grows, you'll have the habit. That's the dream. The dream is the habit, so that we're already doing great things, and then we do more and more and more of it.
And remember, we are the light in the world. You know, like, we are the ones that talk about money. We are the ones that you and your friends and everyone that you come across, now you start the conversation and you put all the energy in, and it grows and grows and grows. So so just really take the opportunity with the person in front of you to, it can be on different levels. You know, you don't have to like open up your whole bank account statement to them. But just, oh, you know, where do you invest your money in? How do you make it? Like, and really find those people who made it and interview them, and really like, oh, what is your strategy? So it's interesting what people do. Like, we just learned recently from Kyle about the futures, and it
Yeah.
was zero on my radar. Like,
And he said he also has, just like Leslie does with his 12 criteria, or don't even begin with this stock, to do that week, that 1 week call.
It's years of learning.
Kyle
from
has
them.
the same kind of yeah, and he said he's just done it so many hundreds of times that it becomes like a dance. You know exactly your criteria, and you won't ever put your money in something that's riskier than
And
your
we
criteria.
can stand on all of those shoulders. It's amazing that we can
they're
just,
willing to help
yeah,
and share. So keep keep it
asking.
rolling.
If you know of anyone who wants to share with us, we are completely open. Carissa and I,
Yeah, we're
here.
just learning every day.
Please call us.
Yeah.
We are doing. We wish to learn more and more and more, because we know where energy goes.
Yeah.
And where our focus goes, like, everything flows towards us.
Yeah.
So it's great.
It's very
Keep
exciting.
it flowing.
Yes, and thank you for everybody cheering us on and encouraging, and it's happening.
And let's close with a prayer. Oh, dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this excitement you bring around money, because we signed up to be here on this earth and this experience, playing with this means of exchange that we agreed as humanity. And thank you that you make us aware of how it works, and how we can accumulate even more, and how we can learn to live in the abundance that you provide for us. So thank you for giving us this awareness, and giving us new teachers, and giving us new insights, and the nudges and the gut feelings of what to buy, when to buy, or the psychic stock picking. And yeah, thank you
The
so
will
much.
to try.
Yes. And thank you for every dollar that we have extra to invest towards this game of life and money that we are playing in. So thank you for bestowing it upon us. We are your faithful servants. We take our talent, and we're not burying it. We are actually doing something with it, like your faithful servant. So thank you that we are able to be this faithful servant, to use everything that comes from you for us and into your kingdom, to multiply and really spent in goodness. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We praise you, we worship you, and yeah, thank you for all the fun that we have here on earth, especially with money. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Well, thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Night.
Good night.